baking soda, cornstarch, Epsom salt. These two I had to buy online specifically. You can get citric acid at the store with the canning supplies if you're just going to make like 1 or 2 batches of bath bombs. But if you want to do a lot of them, you got to buy it online in bulk. And this is the food grade stuff. It's also used for, preserving, flavoring, and cleaning. So use it if you can make pickles or anything like that. And this is sodium lauryl sulfoacetate. And it's just a type of salt. I got the organic kind. It's skin safe. And this is the foaming agent. This is what makes it foam. And you'll actually see it's in toothpaste too. So if you check your toothpaste, it's probably in there. And the citric acid makes it fizz. These are the essential oils I'm going to be using in this one. I'm going to make pumpkin spice first, I think. So I'm just using vanilla, cinnamon, cassia, and nutmeg. You can use whatever brand. I like the Now essential oils just because they're kind of a bigger name, but they're not as expensive as like the doTERRA. Regular Wilton brand gel food colorings, lemon yellow and Christmas red. I'll be using them both to make it orange. And castor oil. A mixing bowl to mix it all together in. A 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, a 1/4 cup measuring cup. Butter knife for the food color. For the molds, I just use these plastic Christmas ornaments that you can get at the craft fairs. So 2 cups of baking soda. There. 1 total cup of cornstarch. 1/2 cup of the sodium lauryl sulfoacetate. I do have a face mask here that I bought for doing this. I usually just use it when I'm making bath bombs that I don't like the smell of, like the lavender, but whew, that can get up your nose too. One cup of Epsom salt. One cup of citric acid, which you'd think would smell more sour, but it actually smells like sugar. Okay, there's the powder, the dries. We'll mix up the wet. Well, I'm making pumpkin spice, so I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon of water. This is going to take 5 tablespoons of castor oil. 1, 5. Now the fun part. Now I want these to be pretty densely covered, so I'm going to use a lot of the food coloring. And I've tried a couple different soap colorings, but they just don't color the bomb as well, and they don't color the water as well. The food coloring is the best thing that I've found so far. So there's some of the lemon yellow. I'm gonna add a little bit less red, because that tends to be stronger. I'm gonna mix it up and see if I like the color, because I'm going for orange. And I know a lot of people have concerns, especially with the red food coloring, that it'll stain the bathtub. But I mean, I've left red bath bomb bubbles in the bathtub after the water was drained for about a half an hour, and it rinsed right off. I think that looks pretty orangey. We'll try that. I'm only going to use a little bit of cinnamon because it's a very strong oil. 1, 2, 3. You want to be careful which oils you use if you're using the actual essential oils instead of the fragrance oils. I mean, do some research on them. Some of them, like cinnamon, can cause skin irritation, so you want to be careful with that one. But really, I mean, this gets so diluted, I've never had any trouble with it. But you still want to be careful. Nutmeg. That smells good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. And this one doesn't have a dropper, so I just went a little bit. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Let's mix that up and see how it smells. Cinnamon's still overpowering, so I'm gonna add a little more nutmeg. This is the first time I've used the nutmeg. I just got it and I love it. Can't wait to put some in the diffuser. Okay. Oils, chlorine, castor water. Okay, and we're ready to mix them up, I think. First, you want to mix all of your dyes together. And normally I wear rubber gloves for this, which I really recommend, but I forgot to pick them up, so. And you want to move slowly so that the powders don't get worked up in the air. You don't have to do this by hand. I know some people will use like a whisk, a kitchen whisk, but I feel like when you do that, it really stirs it up and gets all the powder in the air. Okay. And you're gonna start just by slowly pouring a little bit in at a time and then mix it in real good. And you want to work pretty quick with this part, because basically if you get too much wet in there too quick, it'll start reacting and the foam and the fizz will start going. So I feel like this works better by hand, because then you can put it in and then you can just like squeeze more powder into it before it can react. And if you don't see too much color at the beginning, don't worry, the color tends to sink to the bottom of the cup, so usually a lot of that comes at the end. This isn't quite the shade of orange I was thinking, but I think it'll be good. So as I'm going along here, I'm realizing how much of that cinnamon oil, my hands are actually touching right now. So if you're gonna do this, make sure you wear gloves. I'll pick some up. There. And you can see it's really starting to stick together. Yeah, it's nice. I was really trying to stir up everything at the bottom, make sure it all got worked in well. There's just a little bit left in my mug. I want to make sure to get all of that out. So I'm just going to pack this in, kind of absorb that, take it back out. There. Because I want all that beautiful color in my bath bombs. Looks a little light on the camera, but it's a nice bright orange. So all I have to do now is pack them. Take one side, and you want to press it a little bit, but not too much. other side. Back that a little bit, and I'll put some extra in between. Sort of press them together. And when you're pressing, it's good to kind of wipe out what's in that crack, because if it dries in there, it's kind of hard to get it out. Like, it makes the bomb harder to get out of the mold. And voila! So there's one. I leave it in the half, and I have a towel out that I like to set them on so they don't roll away. There. I've got a little bit left, not enough for a full bomb, about a half, so I'm going to pack it in. You can either make a half a bath bomb to keep for yourself and use, or last year I took an empty candle jar and I packed all of my leftovers into that and made one big bath bomb, which I actually haven't used yet. I'll have to find that. And that's it. So this batch, this recipe makes 7.5 bath bombs. And usually I do double this, and I'll add like an extra half a cup of baking soda. The mixture is wet enough that I can do that, and then that makes sure I get that one extra bath bomb rather than wasting it. But we'll use it. Now you're just gonna leave these for about a day to harden. The next day, so these have had a chance to dry, I put a plastic bag underneath these because I'm gonna take them out and set it back on. If you stick it to the towel, it'll get those little fibers stuck to your bath bombs. And I turned my bag inside out. I don't know if it would pick up any of the ink, but I don't want to chance it. So that's why that's there. And these are gonna be a little crumbly around the edge. Don't worry about that. Seems pretty hard, and it should slide right out. And there's your bath bomb. And I'm just gonna pop the rest of these out. Now for some reason, one side looks like a different color. It might be because the side was exposed to the air so that it's dried out better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them all out and I'm gonna leave them on here for another day to make sure this side that's covered in the plastic gets a chance to dry too. And then after that, I can package them up.
There, now some of them, a lot of them, don't usually slide out that easy. And you can take like a spoon or something and just tap this, kind of get it to release. We want to be very gentle, because otherwise you'll get a crack right down the middle of it. There we go. You want to be careful with that though, because you don't want to crack your molds.
So I have to go make about 12 more batches of these. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do.